Guys, welcome to a very, very special episode 40 of the Game Bolt Podcast, the official podcast of thegamebolt.com, which posts to iTunes every Tuesday and YouTube every Wednesday. And this is a very special episode because we are gathered together, four of us.
In the flesh.
In person, not just the internet. We're real people. We have physical bodies. And joining today is Jacob.
What's up?
What's going on? How's your PSX?
It's going pretty good. It's been busy. It's been stressful,
you've been working it, so
yeah. But it's awesome. It's great seeing all these like PlayStation fans around, and then it's great having you guys here too.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm so glad I went here. We're also joined by the respected genius himself, Julius.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here and find out that you guys aren't like catfish. Right?
some 8-year-old guy. Julius, is that you? I got so excited walking down that escalator. I saw some super handsome fella looking all dapper. I was like, Julius, yeah, that's him. That's Julius. Yeah. And also joining us is the Minnesota Miracle Man, Jason.
What's up?
How's your PSX so far?
One game. Nino Cooney 2.
Oh my god. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that soon. And like I said before, this is the official podcast of thegamebolt.com. And most of us were at the PSX keynote. And basically, we're just kind of going to recap what happened with that. And then we're going to just, talk about whatever we played on the show floor, any cool stories. So what do you say we can get off to a start here? And they started off with a bang, introducing Uncharted 4, and they gave an extensive cutscene with Sam, who Troy Baker voices.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think his name is Sam.
Yeah.
Troy Baker in every video game
Troy
ever
Baker
now.
voices Troy Baker.
And the upcoming Troy Baker video game. I think his name is Sam, Nathan Drake's brother, and they kind of have like a reunion, if you will, and it's they kind of get to know each other, and there's a scene where they kind of reflect on things, and he's like, tell me what happened, and Drake goes, well, and then it pauses, and there's a branching dialogue where you can, talk about Uncharted 1 or 2 or 3, and that's a second city you destroyed, and how do you always go on these crazy adventures, but you never come out with any loot, what's the deal with that? And he's like, well, I found some trinkets here and there, but it was pretty cool. The game looks fantastic, and I'm curious to see how much a role these branching dialogues are gonna play.
That trailer was so weird.
It was
so weird.
It was interesting.
It was like Drake is working a desk job. I thought it was just gonna be some Sony joke, and then Crash would come in through the door or something, and Sackboy would be there and just be some random Sony video just to get people hyped.
Just didn't feel like Uncharted.
And then it kept going. Yeah, and then it kept going, and kept going, and I was like, what is the point of this?
He's stamping some paper.
Just
what are you doing?
It wasn't. Didn't feel Uncharted at all. Not that I'm disappointed with it. I mean, it was still interesting, but it was just what is this? This isn't right. I mean, I'm still stoked for it. I think the branching dialogue it's not what I wanted, but
yeah.
Now that it's there, cool, I guess.
I mean, I don't know how much it'll diversify, the storytelling and the narrative. Personally, I hope it really doesn't. I just want one, set story that Naughty Dog creates for us. But, it's definitely interesting to see if it does change anything.
I thought it was going to be Uncharted Telltale.
Telltale's
Uncharted or something like that.
That's what's scary about when you start getting into that dialogue stuff. Things start to feel kind of Telltale-ish, and it's I don't know, as somebody that's played maybe way too many Telltale games in the past 12 months, that's the last thing I want.
Yeah. And if you don't say anything, he'll just sit there what?
Yeah, Sam will remember that.
Yeah. No, I saw a funny pic this morning, and it was Sully, and all the options were just no. It was no,
yeah.
Drake, no!
Drake, no!
Oh my gosh, so much peeking.
Oh my goodness. Well, Jake, this isn't your podcast anymore, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to show something new because everybody's I want to see something new from Uncharted, and that was what they showed. But I would have rather just seen some action or some new scenes or something instead. But I liked the story narrative, where it went. I liked that they kind of joked with the old ones because they weren't amazing stories, they were kind of goofy, and I like they kind of went down that goofy road, where his brother's like, oh, so you went to like a second desolated city and you didn't get any gold or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard on you again.
Oh man. So next, Gearbox Software making Battleborn. You can play the beta with early access first on PS4, and if you do play the beta on PS4, you get a special hero for free. Eventually, that'll be developed after the game launches, and it'll come out afterwards. I think there were 25 playable heroes at launch, and then that extra one. I think that's what I heard Randy Pitchford say. I haven't played Battleborn yet. I have no interest, but it's something I would need to play first before I say like, maybe not, or like this game looks awesome. Like I'm a big fan of MOBAs. I'm terrible at them, and I don't devote enough time to them. And it's like a shooter, a single. It's like 6 games in one, and I want to try it first.
I have I don't know. It looks interesting. Like maybe I'll like it, but I don't really want to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to try it yesterday. I was in the line when it was, on the floor, on the show floor and everything, but the line was just ridiculous and it was moving way too slow. I did give it an opportunity, take the time and just watch the monitor and kind of see the gameplay. I mean, it looks a lot like Smite. I mean, it's like Smite with a shooter.
Oh, I love Smite
with shooter mechanics.
Okay.
And that's kind of what it felt like, especially the gameplay mode that they were specifically playing on the floor was it's very similar to the mode in Smite where there's minions and you kill them.
Oh yeah.
And I was just okay, this is like Smite with shooters and stuff. But it looks pretty interesting. But to me, and I don't want to talk Xbox on the PlayStation but it looks like it's going to be a game that it's going to gear more towards Xbox players. Just kind of like Destiny. Destiny is uber popular on PlayStation, but you look at the sales versus that game, even though regardless of the exclusives on, Sony, on PlayStation versus Xbox sales are Xbox is hugely popular for Destiny.
Yeah.
And I feel like Battleborn would kind of be the same.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll have to play it, but I'm a huge fan of Smite. I think it's such a good game. I'm perfectly fine, and I don't pay anything for that, so I'm perfectly fine just playing that as a MOBA to fill that need, even though that's on Xbox. But up next, Yoshinori Ono of Capcom came out with Street Fighter V, and he announced Fang.
Fang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he what Street Fighter is he from?
I've never seen
it's
one.
maybe a new character.
Yeah, I think he's a new character.
I think he's a new character. And then it's Fang, but I think it's an acronym. It doesn't say what it stands for, but it's F.A. whatever.
Yeah, N.G and stuff.
Yeah,
Probably doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Typical Capcom stuff, right? Yeah, but
Fang's a cool name, but it'd be cooler. Periods.
Yes, dots. The boss is dots. Yeah, but he's a vampire-like dude.
Yeah, he looks pretty interesting.
Very quirky.
He kind of slips underneath and kind of back attacks the people if you play him correctly. And then they had a picture of I know there was a leaked picture of silhouettes of 6 characters, and I guess they revealed that eventually at the conference. And I don't remember exactly who was on that list, but I think Guile was on there.
Yeah, Guile was on there.
Barlog. I think I'm forgetting the other 3 or 4, but they're popular Street Fighter characters that are. It would make sense that they'd be in Street Fighter V.
Yeah, because part of the announcement was that the season pass is now purchasable.
Oh, right.
We haven't played the game yet, except for the beta and all that kind of stuff. But hey, you can buy the season pass.
Nice.
These extra characters that were showing you in silhouettes, okay, Capcom, I get it. You really don't have much else other than Street Fighter anymore. So you got to milk it for what it's worth. But man, I just I don't know. It feels kind of gross to have it kind of feels like, what was that game? They had the characters, the first person shooter on both consoles. I'm drawing a blank, but the character DLC, you had to buy all this money.
Oh God, I don't even know.
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah,
I'll think of it.
I blame CeeLo Green.
Destiny.
Yeah. But no, it's that. Yeah, but it's that other game, Evolve thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thanks, memory. You figured it out. But it feels like Evolve kind of gross. How all right, you're buying this game, and we know you're going to get more characters, but you already get selling us a season pass to get these extra characters, and The game hasn't even come out yet. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I thought for sure the deal with Street Fighter was all the characters were going to be free. I could have sworn
no,
I
you
heard that.
can earn them in game with the in-game currency, but I feel like the caveat, I don't know the exact, but I feel like the caveat there is, well, it's going to take you a while to build up enough currency to get that character. So you could,
So you can just
wait.
buy them if you want.
You could play like 100 matches and get that, get one character now, like that later, or you can pay money now when you get the characters. I mean, I'm, not sure how it's going to work, but
Probably takes you like a month to get a character, and they're just hoping you get like annoyed, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like buy all these characters right out, and like,
Exactly. That doesn't make it feel any less gross. The fact that you earn them, because all it means is that you're gonna put them behind things that are, basically a paywall. You're gonna have to, it's an effort wall now. Unless they kind of force you to pay, which is just very gross. And what if your favorite character is like Balrog or something, and he's behind like the season pass or the paywall like that. So
is Balrog the guy who just like suplexes you?
No, he's Mike Tyson.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some character in Street Fighter who suplexes you at literally every move.
That's like Zangief. Yeah. Like
I played like Super Street Fighter 4 for like 20 minutes. I was like, I am terrible. This guy's just suplexing me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna go play Smash.
Yeah. Balrog in the United States is the Mike Tyson dude, but in Asia he's M. Bison. That was the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mike Tyson, they didn't want to name.
Oh, okay. I see.
Balrog M. Bison in the States because he's basically Mike Tyson, and then his name would be Mike Tyson, and they would get sued. So they switched the names. Yeah. Fun facts.
There you go. Jason, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's like MKX when they made you buy those characters. Like I bought that day one pack, and that just pissed me off so bad because that didn't even work. Like there were so many people having problems with that.
Oh
you
yeah.
didn't even get the characters because the DLC was broken.
Oh
so, yeah. Hopefully it's not like that. That'd be terrible.
Well, speaking of MKX, but just because Street Fighter had this announcement yesterday, MKX comes out and is like, "Hey, we got these new characters. Too.
Yeah.
They got like Alien and Leatherface and all this other stuff.
Have they officially announced those, or did they just get leaked?
The official announcement was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Okay, yeah, I remember.
I think it was leaked.
Hearing about it.
I think I saw you. You guys they might have had something.
You guys at GameSpot.
I noticed the video. I was like, oh, that's me, and then I deleted my comment because the guy was like, it wasn't even announced to VG or the VGAs. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I don't know. Like that's what we heard, that they were supposed to be announced at the VGAs. So
yeah, haters.
Oh well. So up next, they showed a twin-stick shooter called Dead Star. And it looks pretty interesting. Basically, you have to like fight off enemy ships. Well, I think there are different game modes too. You can just like reach your capital ship, your main ship, to I guess complete the objective. And I think you can work with teammates. I don't remember exactly what, but it looks pretty interesting. And then there are some Adult Swim is making some games.
Headlander.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's I don't know.
I think it's 6.
There's Rain World, which is
that looks
amazing.
Pretty cool. That looks pretty cool.
I got to play it a little bit a couple months ago, and it's so cool. What else? It was like the Dark Souls, that 2D Dark Souls. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh,
but that game's really cool too.
Oh man,
what's it called?
Is it? Oh god, there's one of them that had like a really cool art style. I can't think what it was.
Yeah, they all looked really awesome to me. Like, I'm going to play all those games.
Yeah.
Like, usually I'm not too into that many indie games, but every last one of those looked like really fun to play.
What was the duck game? Because when it came up, you were like, oh, this game's awesome. I was freaking out.
I like jumped up and down because like that was a PC game. And like everybody loves that game that plays it. Like, yeah, I've seen so many videos online, and I wanted to get that so bad, but it doesn't work on Mac because I thought that'd be like really fun to stream that game. But like now that's come to console, like that's gonna be really fun to stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, you like play as ducks, and you just like there's guns all over these like 2D maps, and you just pick them up and you shoot each other.
So it's like kind of like Worms almost.
No, because it's action oriented, but like at the end of the match, it's like really weird. There's like a shot put thing where like how many kills you got, you get to like throw the shot put so far, and you got to like throw it to the end of the line or something. Like at the end of it's really weird, but it's really fun.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't see that one, but yeah, Headlander. Is that what Headlander?
Yeah.
I don't know about that game. It looks interesting, but like I wish I remember what that Dark Souls kind of 2D game because that game is really cool.
Mm-hmm. It looked interesting.
And then Rain World. Look out for Rain World. That game's gonna be really good. It's weird. It's scary too.
Julius.
What overall? Just any of the games I had on that?
leading into something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Time for me to tune out.
There's a sports game that you and I adore.
Yes.
It's called MLB The Show.
Yes.
And MLB 16 The Show was teased, and Josh Donaldson of the Toronto Blue Jays will be on the cover, and they're showing some of the new dynamics. I think there's like a new fielding dynamic that'll be included, where it might be a little bit tougher to field, but MLB The Show is my favorite PlayStation franchise. Like among all of them, like I've been playing MLB The Show since its incarnation, and I can't get enough of it. So I'm so excited that I got to see it. I was like, yes, like MLB The Show.
Your pants, right?
Excitement. Like 6 times, yeah. I have to be honest.
6 times.
It's coming out this March, which is usually when it comes out, like a couple weeks before opening day for baseball. So, it's more MLB The Show. I'm going to be pouring hundreds of hours into that. I'm so excited. And there's like a sweet bar on the show floor that's like MLB The Show.
Oh, do I still have that?
Yeah, I hung out at the bar.
I might do that today.
Yeah, I definitely hung out at the MLB The Show bar. I mean, it's not the upcoming version of the game. It's this year's version.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I wish there was like a demo of 16, but I mean, 15 is still a fantastic game.
Yeah, but I definitely had a couple beers and played a while. I thought you guys were like in the Fat Princess line still. I went over there and I got a couple beers and played some MLB The Show. But looking forward to the next one. What we didn't see, the changes to mechanics are cool, especially when it comes to fielding, because let's be honest, fielding is ridiculously easy, right?
Yeah, it's tap circle.
Exactly.
Okay, you throw it first.
But what I was hoping to see, I just expect all the sports games to follow like NBA 2K's lead, and I just haven't really seen that. Like NBA 2K, like is ahead of the rest of these sports games because there is an actual story and there's actual like RPG, mechanics, and there's something to strive for other than hey, let's win the championship again with my creative player.
Yeah.
That's like all 99 overall by now. Like there's just like there's something else to like strive for in the NBA 2K games, and there's something to experience more than just the day-to-day game, starting the game and then winning the game and keep going through the schedule. Like want to see MLB The Show like do that. Like they already set the bar when it comes to like being able to move your character from one version to the next with
I love that so much.
Yeah, which is great, but like I just want to see them like bring more to the table, like make it even more engaging for me.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean, because like I've been playing Road to the Show for 10 years, and like I'll play like 10 seasons, and my guy's like 600 home runs. I'm like, well, I'm doing the same thing every year. Like I want something new. But that'll be The Show.
Yeah, give me a steroid scandal. I don't know. Just like I just want to
take a lot of
tests. Drama. Yeah, exactly. Give me something like that.
Some branching narratives.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll take branching narratives in a sports game. How about that?
They did an NBA, right?
Yeah, exactly. NBA 2K. Like I said, set the bar. Like having giving you the ability to like have different statements and and the things that you say affect like your team chemistry and stuff like that. Like those are things that should be a part of a sports game. Other than that, you're just an avatar on the screen, and it's not like really.
Your second baseman calls you a diva
too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
I kind of want to play it just because it doesn't sound like it sounds like a sports game, but it sounds like there's way more to it than just a sports game, and like
it's pretty weird. Like the NBA like 2K with the whole Spike Lee story. It's cool. It's interesting in the fact that like you've got like a whole story, and it's like background. It's kind of it's kind of like melodramatic and kind of corny a bit, and it's like I don't think really basketball players really go through some of this stuff, but it's like okay, I mean it's something, it is pretty interesting, and even after like the original narrative ends, like and you continue like through the seasons, like every other sports games, it calls back to like some of those early moments because you play through like your high school and your college and all that other kind of stuff too. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, kind of melodramatic, but overall, I think it's worthwhile. The only thing I had to complain about, and I think I put this in the review that I did, was like, I get it, like as a black person, I think it's cool to have like diversity in games and have like black characters in video games, right? Because you don't see that a lot. But sorry, I think it's pretty dumb that if you create a white guy, his family's still black. Like diversity in games is important, but taking out one race and substituting for another, that's not diversity. Diversity is when everybody's included. So like I think that come on 2K, like you could have did better than that.
Anyways, up next, they showed off some PlayStation VR games, and there are over
We're gonna talk
30.
about that demo that they did. That was just terrible. Where
Oh,
throwing
yeah.
the discs.
Yeah.
I thought it was
so
I thought it was
bad.
Tron for a second, and like he's like moving like very slightly. And he's like, "Come on,
Like no
stand
one could
still."
catch it. Like it just like bounced off of them, and they were like, "Oh,
Like
oh,
ping,
we missed
ping,
it." Like,
ping.
Yeah, that was a really bad demonstration of VR. Like they could have shown any of the other games they showed, and it would have been like 10
They
times
should have
better.
showed
Like,
Job Simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. Like that was awful. It's just like, oh my god. Like I was like, I don't know if I want VR now.
There are some games that look pretty enticing, like 100-foot robot golf.
oh,
That's game of show.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
like-
gonna be the next Rocket League.
Oh my god!
Calling
Like,
it,
yeah.
like the demo just looks so ridiculous. Like they're running over skyscrapers, hitting each other with golf clubs, and
And
they're
it
like,
wasn't even golf.
Yeah. I like that they're like in space at one point, like hitting it off the moon, and it's like a meteor coming towards.
yeah. Oh my god, it's
Lands
so
in like
funny.
Central Park.
That game looks so good. There are over 30 playable demos. Unfortunately, you need an appointment to play with VR. I was hoping to maybe get the chance. They were saying like towards the end of the day you might be able to try it out. So hopefully we can get that today.
No, if you go around the back, where the VR stations are,
Mhm.
you know, if you go up front, there's appointments. But if you go around the backside, there's a line, and you can just get in it and play the VR
Oh
game.
wow!
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
At
Shout out
least
to
Second floor, right?
Yeah,
Second-
yeah, on the second floor. Yeah, Icy Sparks on Twitter told me, and I.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, so shout out to her. Like she.
There you go.
Because I was like, man, you got to make an appointment for VR, but
Nice.
Yeah.
Might try that out then.
Actually, and the lines didn't look too bad when I was over there. If I'm thinking of the right place, because
Yeah.
like there was.
it's like in the back.
Yeah, it's right next to like the media lounge.
yeah, it's right by the media.
Yeah. They also showed Eagle. Oh, dang it! I just opened a link. They showed Eagle Lounge. Or sorry, Eagle Flight.
Eagle
from-
Lounge.
yeah.
That sounds
I was-
sweet. That sounds way better than Eagle Flight. Just like Eagles hanging out in a lounge.
Just talking about America and
Perfect
stuff.
VR experience.
Eagle Flight from Ubisoft. I mean, just flying around. It looks very
Oh,
pretty.
it is Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zombie Taxi Co., which I think was hilarious because like it's so like janky and like there's no physics to it. Like I'm just like bouncing around the car and like just like flying everywhere. It's like it just looked pretty funny. And then there's a Psychonauts VR game, in Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin from Double Fine, and it was pretty funny because the way they set up Raz, he's looking like the VR person. Can't think of his name. I heard it yesterday. Oculus guy, Palmer Luckey. He looked like the way he was like standing like in that time photo.
Oh.
Yeah, like they
I
had
didn't catch
Raz.
that.
They had Raz stood up like that. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. And then there's also Ace Combat 7, which looked pretty sweet. Ace Combat, big fan base there. And then Golem, and it's more VR. So I definitely looking to trying that out today. Hopefully.
No price though, or release date, right? Well, they said 2016,
Yeah.
but there's no price, which is
I would
worrisome.
imagine. I feel like it would be in the 300
Yeah.
plus range, but not exceeding 400.
I feel like if they're not going to announce it, it's got to be up there, right? Because like they don't want to shock people, I think, and it's
Mhm.
like that kind of sucks. So like they should have announced that there.
Oh yeah.
Or they're still trying to figure out if they can lower that price point. You
Yeah.
know, they're trying to figure out a way to get that as low as possible because that's what's going to VR. The one in the demo that wasn't too great. So there are a lot of people that are already like, I'm not really into this whole VR thing. Or especially if they were on the fence, they're kind of like probably not feeling it now. But what's going to make VR just what could have or didn't make the connect is to be able to get it in the homes of people that are not hardcore gamers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
if it's $350.
yeah, then the non-hardcore gamers, with casual gamers, was the right word. They aren't going to spend $350 on a VR device on top of the money they spent on the PlayStation. So they're probably trying to get that price point down, and I hope they do, or else connect.
It definitely has the potential to hit just the casual market because it's just so natural. Like I played around with Job Simulator yesterday, and they give you the dumb move wands, whatever they are, and they didn't tell me the controls or anything. I just knew, just all right, go to what I want to do, hit the R button. That's basically your grip.
Mhm.
Open the drawer, take out a file, throw it at my boss is what I kept doing during Job Simulator. It just it felt so natural. I think it's weird. I mean, it's not it's not like, I don't know, it's just so simple.
Mhm.
Like, it's so easy to wrap your head around. I think a lot of people will be able to pick it up, play it whether they're a gamer or not. At least some of the simpler games.
Yeah, it's not a gimmick like the move was. I think a lot more people are interested in this than the move. Like I think I think it's gonna sell regardless. But yeah, if they can't get that price point down, it's not gonna sell well. I don't think.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I'm gonna buy it most likely, unless it's just like $600. Then I don't know.
Yeah, I need to try it first before I consider. Like I want to be interested, but I
Try it today.
yeah,
I'll buy.
like you can explain it to me all you want, but it's something you need to try first. Like you have to wrap it around your head, literally, to understand the whole concept and how it works. So the biggest news of the conference, Destiny related.
100 for robot.
No, that's the game show. There is a Sparrow Racing League coming to Destiny starting this Tuesday, and it's 3 weeks long. And you get gear from racing on Mars and Venus. You get Sparrow stuff. It's odd to say the least. I've always wanted to do cool stuff with a Sparrow, but like a full Sparrow Racing League, interesting, I guess.
I heard it was fun.
Yeah, I bet it is fun. As like a person that was a day one Destiny player, and I've played Destiny more than probably any other game over the past year or so. Even though quite honestly, I finally reached a point where I'm like, I need a break from Destiny.
What?
Yeah, can't believe it, right? But but overall, like, I'm glad that there is Sparrow Racing. It's something that I said almost from day one. I'm like, this feels like pod racers from Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like there should be racing.
Now this is pod racing.
So like I've always wanted it. I'm not sure I like the concept of like, all right, this is like this racing league thing, and it's only like temporary, or
Almost like an Iron Banner type thing.
or maybe it is. I don't really understand it yet. Like, is this like a once a month thing? Is this like every once in a blue moon thing?
They're probably going to see how popular it is. If people like it, it'll probably come back and
Yeah.
stay for good.
I think it's similar to Iron Banner in terms of like how it comes. Like it only lasts for so long.
Yeah, they said like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, I think
surprising.
starting this
Yeah.
Tuesday, it'll last 3 weeks, and if it does well, I'm sure they'll bring it back
Yeah.
and make it a more popular event.
I just don't like, these are the things that are like starting to turn me off about Destiny. Like, from one perspective, it's cool that like there's always something else going on,
Mm-hmm.
but what Destiny has gotten in the habit of, Bungie has gotten in the habit of doing with Destiny is like, you have to be able to be on at a specific day or time to do this thing, and if you're not, then you can't do it, and you lose out the possibility of doing it. Particularly like when it comes to weapons, like if you want the Black Spindle, then you got to be able to get on do that daily mission when it's on that day, and you can't do it any other day. Things like that. It punishes people that have a life.
Yeah.
Right? And so, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. Like, as someone that I got a life now.
Yeah.
That
you
Black
go.
Spindle mission was so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's easy now, but I remember like
And they
the first
nerfed it too.
That's why I stopped playing Destiny.
There you go.
They nerf everything in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, you're having fun? Nerf it.
Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways, up next, we saw a look from Hob from Runic Games, the makers of Torchlight.
Yeah.
And I know, Jason, you were excited, and Julius, I think you were excited too about it. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
Oh man, when they first revealed that like 3 months ago, I was really excited because that's so different from Torchlight. Like I was just excited to see something different from them. But it looks like a Metroid and Zelda, which is like a couple of my favorite games. So like you blend that together and like that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you got like a robotic arm, I think, and you upgrade it throughout the game, and you like can like pull stuff and do all these crazy things with it. But my favorite thing is that like they made it sound like depending on how you like move these spindles and different things around on the map, like you create the map like based on what you push and pull, and like so it sounds like it's a different experience for everyone. That's what I really like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I got the chance to play it yesterday, and one of the exhibitors was explaining is that the fact that it is an open world game.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the things that you can twist and pull and everything like that can take you in a different direction than you might not go. There's somebody else, that might not go on, or they may go on. So it's really cool to be able to do that. I mean, like Jason said, you've got this robotic arm, and like that arm can it manipulates the world. Like I was able to just like go all around this map and go from place to place, and it was pretty cool to do that. What I really appreciated about the game was that I mean, it's picturesque in terms of like the graphics. Like especially like a lot of the worlds that we're in. Like in what I played yesterday, it was like this green scenery and like this like wildlife, and then like these villains come in and they just kind of like start tearing stuff up.
Yeah.
But like I appreciate like how it's like beautiful on one perspective, and then like a lot more violent than I thought it would be, or that I realized it is. The combat is like it's pretty tough. Like Hobbs he gets the shield early on, and like you get the shield, and he's got his robot arm, and he's like going to town on these different enemies, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool, and it just without really knowing what to do, I was able to just like get onto like that. The version of the game that they have, that slice that they have on the floor, and like really just like move my way around. It was like very intuitive in order to figure out where I needed to go from place to place and fight, the different enemies. So I was really appreciating that one. That one, it was something that I wasn't excited about as Jason, but I'm definitely excited for it now that I got a chance to play it.
Up next, Epic Games came out and they showed us a MOBA-ass MOBA called Paragon.
A MOBA-ass MOBA?
Yeah, that's what it says on the PlayStation blog where I'm reading this information for the recap.
Why did they end with that?
I don't know.
It was weird.
It's like, don't end on a MOBA. It looked interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely looked
I won't
interesting.
play it,
I probably have to watch the trailer again because it's not fresh in my mind, but it's I do appreciate that a MOBA is coming to PS4. It's just how successful will it be against the likes of Dota and League of Legends and Smite? But I mean, we'll see. So
I was so infatuated with another game that when that came on, my mind was just in another area. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember seeing that trailer.
What game?
Well,
I think it's coming up.
it's coming up very soon, but I want to get some other stuff first. We'll end with that for the show.
All right.
For the recap. So quickly, just to go over some stuff. Gio Corsi, very friendly guy, by the way. Gave Jason and myself some games. The man. Yakuza 5 is coming on December 8th, and Yakuza 0 is coming to the Americas. Yakuza is a huge series in Japan, and people around here who have played, I've heard nothing but fantastic things. Like it could rival GTA as a really just fantastic open world game, sandbox game. So that's really cool. I definitely have some interest in it just to see what it's like. Tim Schafer came on stage, and per usual, he announces a remaster. So Full Throttle is getting remastered, the old 90s LucasArts game, and we saw a trailer for Day of the Tentacle remastered, and that's pretty cool. So there's a lot of Tim Schafer news with Psychonauts and these classic games, and the more the merrier. If I still need to play Grim Fandango, but again, like
Hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like the writing is fantastic, but it hasn't aged well. Like the puzzles are like, how am I supposed to figure this out?
That's what I always hear.
It's like I'm trying to like swing on something, and it's like, oh, you have to combine like your shell that you found with a piece of bubble gum, and like I'm like, what? Like there's no way.
You almost got to get in the mind of Tim Schafer to like solve those problems, because they're all like goofy solutions.
Oh yeah.
Well, then like you compare it to their newest Broken Age, and it's like it makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier.
There was also bigger news. Final Fantasy VII. I wasn't expecting much, but for the remake, we got like a huge trailer, a little bit of gameplay, different combat system this time around. And
how you guys feel about this combat system?
I'm pretty okay with it because I feel like the thing is with 7 originally it was active time battle, but it's still turn based. It looks to be more along the lines of Final Fantasy 15, where it's very action oriented, which I'm fine with it. I feel like it's a lot more accessible at that point because active time can get overwhelming because you don't know what you're doing right off the bat. You can die pretty quickly and stuff, but I think that could be the biggest change that still makes Final Fantasy VII a great game because I think people will just get bored by it, and like I said, it's probably more accessible. But that trailer was so cool. I mean, 7 is not my favorite in the series, but I got chills watching that.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that it's action oriented this time instead of active time or even turn based. Like nobody's got time for that anymore. Like
Yeah.
I can't stand waiting like in those RPGs anymore for like the time based ones. Like I love the action based RPGs. So like that got me really excited.
I love turn based RPGs, but I could totally understand that sentiment right there.
I just want to watch all the cutscenes for that game.
Oh my god!
I just want them to like give me all the cutscenes and I'll watch them.
Like I was hoping little nitpick. I was hoping Barrett's gun arm would be a little bit bigger. Like it just looked like a standard machine gun, but like obviously back in the day, like it was this massive hulking machine gun. Like that would have been so cool, but it's a nitpick. And probably the second to last thing I guess we can probably talk about here is Ratchet & Clank. We saw a demo. It's launching for PS4 on April 12th of next year.
That's playable, right?
Yeah,
that game was really fun. I played it a while ago.
I'm definitely going to try and play that. I think it's on the first floor of PSX.
The Groovatron is the coolest thing ever.
It's Ratchet & Clank in a nutshell. Like all these silly, ridiculous weapons that I've grown to love over the years. Like I haven't played a Ratchet & Clank in quite some time, so I'm very excited to maybe even play it today. Just I'm glad Ratchet & Clank is back.
It's crazy how beautiful that looks. Like the game looks like the movie that's coming out. Like,
the
animations. Like I had a hard time. Like I couldn't tell if they were showing the movie or the game. Like from sitting far back. Like I thought they were.
Yeah,
showing
the cinematics.
The movie,
Like, it looked really good.
Oh, this is the game, and I was like, holy crap! Like,
yeah,
it looks like the movie.
Yeah, it's insane. Oh my god, I can't wait. Like Ratchet & Clank is so like beloved in my heart. And lastly, a certain game that Jason was waiting for.
Yes!
Ni no Kuni 2 is real!
Yeah, I've been waiting forever for them to announce this. So, like, I knew they were going to announce something eventually, level 5, because way back, like, I think it was 2 months before last E3, they said, we're going to announce something. And I was like, okay, it's either, like, Ni no Kuni 2, Dark Cloud 2, or, like, I don't know, they got a couple other games, but didn't say anything. And they said we were going to bring a first-party game to E3. Never brought it. Didn't bring it to any other events throughout the year. Didn't bring it to... So I was like, okay, they have to announce it now. Like, they don't. Like, they canceled it. Something happened. And then it came out, like, right at the end. Like, right before I was about to, like, give up hope. And I got so excited. I had, like, tears, like, going...
Yeah, I was getting misty-eyed.
Screaming.
Oh, my God.
That's what they should have ended the conference with, I think.
Oh, my God. Like, Ni no Kuni 1 is such a good game.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be a tearjerker, too.
Oh, I know. Yeah, did you finish the first one, Jake?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay, I know Brett didn't finish
No,
it.
I've played somewhat, yeah.
Because it is a tearjerker.
I was hoping for a remaster announcement, but, I mean, probably not, so I guess, I'll have to get a PS3 and play it. But, I was like, I saw, like, the art style, I was like, no way. Like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then they say Ding Dong Dell, and then, the dragons that look from Ni no Kuni 1, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jason, Ni no Kuni! And we were going crazy. We were standing and clapping. Oh my god, it's so awesome. Like, we were walking out, like, even like 5 minutes after, we just kept repeating, like, holy crap, Ni no Kuni 2 is real. Like, this is happening. And just, like, showcase of the keynote. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait for that. It's gonna be magical.
Yeah, I told like Adam Boys after the show, like I cried when it was announced. He just ran up and like hugged me. He's like, I love you guys.
It's so cool. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was so hard not to spoil that one for you.
Oh my god.
I knew about it, and like Jason kept like, I was like, you just kept bringing up like, oh, so they're gonna announce Ni no Kuni 2, and I was like, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, oh, they're not gonna announce it then. I was like, oh, Jake.
Oh my god. I'm glad you were able to hold that.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that essentially, in a nutshell, was the keynote for PlayStation Experience 2015.
overall,
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. There was a lot of it was like stuff we already knew though.
What was the game? I think Neo? No, not Neo.
Oh yeah, no, it was Neo.
Neo?
The samurai one.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
What
Is
is
it
it?
Bandai Namco or Tecmo Koei?
Tecmo Koei.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, interesting art style and
It's kind of like a Dark Souls or something.
Yeah, like Dark Souls, but a little more
Action.
I mean, yeah, a little more quicker than Dark Souls.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. But yeah, that essentially was the PSX keynote in a nutshell. So we're gonna move on to what we played on the floor, what we experienced, just walking around. So what were some memorable things for you guys?
So I
Ni no
guess
Kuni 2 getting announced next.
yeah. No, Fat Princess. That's one thing we didn't announce. Like that got announced, and I was like super excited because it's been a long time since the first one, and I had a blast with that game when that came out. And
Yeah,
like,
so much fun.
Like I don't enjoy online games that much, but that was so much fun. But the weird thing is like we talked to one of the developers a little bit, and they said like, yeah, there's no online what was that mode?
Like a battle mode.
Yeah, there's like no battle mode anyway. It's a story mode, which is cool because I guess I'd rather have that anyway. But it's weird that they didn't even they just removed that completely, which is like to me like that's what Fat Princess is.
Apologies really if you hear a siren, by the way. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, someone else just found out about Ni no Kuni past
Get him to the hospital.
Yeah. No, that. Gosh, what else did we play, Brad? We waited in the line a lot, and then didn't play a lot of things. Like we waited in line for Fat Princess first.
The line wasn't moving.
Yeah, we waited 30 minutes and got a third of the way through, and then we're like, screw it. We came back 2 hours later. It's a 2-minute wait. Why did we wait a half an hour?
You guys played Severed, didn't you too?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I was watching the dev play. We got some. We were doing some stuff for a feature, and it looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Style's great.
Oh my god.
Fat Princess was game though.
Yeah.
Fat Princess was really fun. Jason and I had a blast playing it, but since it got announced, Severed has been one of my most anticipated games, just in general for PlayStation, and I'm so glad I got to play. I spoke to one of the developers, and the thing I like about PSX is they're just so open, just ask them questions, and they'll talk to you about, their game, and it's much different from Guacamelee, and it caters to me personally more because it's, has RPG mechanics, and it's, first-person dungeon crawler, but I love the art style, the way they use the Vita touch controls, it's outside of maybe Uncharted Golden Abyss, which even then, that wasn't great, you're swiping, up and down, or horizontally or vertically on the touchscreen to attack the enemy, and you can level up your person, you upgrade, and just it's really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And they the developer said it's finished. They just they have to polish it, and it should be coming out hopefully as soon as possible for them. I'm very much excited for that.
Yeah, we also played Alienation.
Ooh.
And that was fun. We had to wait a little while. The line looked short, but it was a 25-minute demo.
Yeah.
But it was funny because we got up there and then there's 2 other guys playing with us, and they'd take off, and the game's really hard. You got to revive each other, and so it was just Brett and I moving forward, and these guys were going down to the bottom of the map, just dinking around, doing nothing, getting killed. And we're
the way it's set up, it's they're two things on each side, so it's you're all in the same server, playing together, and it's definitely tough.
It's really fun.
It's honestly so close between that and Severed, for my game of the show so far that I've played, but I gotta give it to Alienation. It's just so cool.
4 of us should try to play that today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was really frustrating. We didn't even finish it because the guys just were they weren't doing anything, and I just
restart 4 times.
Yeah,
screw it.
And we put our controllers down. I was like F this. I'm walking away this. I wasn't gonna go out what are you doing? I was it's just
I'll break your legs.
I'll break your legs. Play this right. It was just really fun, and I appreciate Housemarque doing something outside of a twin stick shooter like Resogun or Super Stardust. It's very different, but it's really good, and it's on the first floor too. So if you get a chance, you should definitely check it out. What about you guys? Anything stand out for you guys?
Well, I mentioned Hob. I mentioned how much I like that, and you guys already mentioned Severed. I played it right before you guys, and I was you guys gotta play this.
I wish I had it on the plane ride home. I really do.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It would be awesome.
Ask them.
I gotta get on this 6 ride home. This 6-hour plane ride home. I wish I had it to play.
Yeah.
Also, I really like this game, and I had not heard anything about it prior to. It's called, and I'm probably going to pronounce it incorrectly because I can't speak with a Spanish accent, but it's a masquerade. It's a masquerade. It's the whole theme of the game is it's masquerade type mask, and those give you powers, and essentially, spent a long time talking with one of the exhibitors. And he was, then he was like, actually two of them, like, and they were both like explaining that like the whole theme of the game is like the universe that it's in is, like the social elite, the rich and powerful, they have these masks and it gives them extra powers and strength and things like that. And there's a whole another sect of the world that the poor, they don't have any type of mask, and what you're playing in is a rebellion where pretty much like the characters, who like one of the characters, he's like this like social elite person, but he realizes like how flawed that system is, and he like joins in the rebellion, and it's like it feels a lot like Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
It feels, it's a lot like Baldur's Gate, and like it's in between Baldur's Gate and Diablo, which of course those games are similar as well, but the combat is more fast paced and more action oriented, but there's like cooldowns in between moves and such. But like aside from Hob, that was like my favorite game that I played. I was really like, man, I really like want to get this game. It was pretty cool.
Is there the loot? Diablo's known for its loot, and Baldur's Gate is similar.
If there's loot, I certainly didn't experience any. So
okay.
I probably should have asked it, but it didn't feel like a loot-driven game. Like it's certainly like a story narrative. Game is but it was pretty cool. Just the different areas that you were able to go into, like in this massive palace. It was like going from room to room. It really gave me that feel of like that Baldur's Gate, Diablo, like the X-Men Legends.
Like the old school like dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, dungeon crawler type that. Like I really enjoyed that.
That sounds really like. I want to play that. Like, where on the floor was that?
Yeah, that was on the second floor.
Okay.
It's on like the far opposite side from like where Fat Princess is.
Okay, yeah. We didn't venture too far into that section.
Like on the same side, like where the media. Is, but like the far left side. Yeah, there are a bunch of games over there that like nobody was really playing. I don't even think people knew they're over there. So I was just going from game to game.
I'm gonna try and check that out for sure. Then.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. Jake, I know you were working, you were filming stuff, but did you get to do anything?
I didn't get to play that many games. I saw a lot of games. I saw Firewatch. Firewatch is looking really good.
Ooh, nice.
It was a little bit buggy, like some frames dropped when the guy was kind of touring us through it. It looks gorgeous, and it's still a couple months away from launch, so I'm sure that'll kind of be worked out. And plus, it's a demo, so it's like not actually the full experience. Yeah. It was tough though because that game is like heavily based on narration and narrative, and I couldn't hear any of the narration. So I basically just watched this guy kind of wander around, and like it's kind of cool because like there's almost always like a constant dialogue going on with the woman who you're talking to on your radio, and you can choose reply, you can choose to ignore. But the way the guy was describing it was it's kind of like conversations in real life. Like it's not. Like, she'll talk to you, you can say something, you cannot say something, or like, I don't know, one thing he did was he like, I don't know, there was something, he saw like, there was like a bra like hanging from a tree in the woods, and he was like given the option to call it in and tell him about it. or like he saw firecrackers, and like he was given the option to call it in. But yeah, so we saw the beginning, so there wasn't much going on, but it ended with a gunshot, and then that's when like the game sort of starts. But it's looking really cool, definitely. Take a look at that. Comes out March, I think. March or February.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and it looks pretty cool. Definitely looking forward to that for sure.
What else did I see? I saw Severed, like you guys. Severed looks really cool. Looking forward to that. I saw another game called Randall. Wasn't too impressed by it. I don't even know why we had an appointment for it, but we did, and it was, I don't know, it was all right. It kind of looked like Guacamelee, but didn't have the charm or the intricacies, but I didn't actually play it, so I can't speak for that. But I definitely didn't have the charm. I saw Dreams being played. I was trying to play Dreams. I want to play Dreams.
Is that
I don't know
Molecules new game?
Yeah, I don't know if it's on the show floor. It was in the media lounge, but there was one guy who was playing it for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Dang. Wow. I was standing in line for so long, like watching this guy. Like the other person kept rotating out, and this guy's just playing, like making his whole like creation. It's like, dude, this is you gotta leave. Yeah, you gotta leave. So I didn't actually get to play it, but everyone who did play it said that game is like stunning. Like I think that game.
Really?
I think once people fully understand what that game is, which to be fair, I don't really understand.
I'm still kind
of
people will
absolutely love this game because it's very simple to create like levels and things like that and just experiences. like to the point where like it'll be kind of like Mario Maker. Like even people who don't like creating things will still probably end up creating things, and it's got a nice charm to it, and it's gorgeous. Like everything looks like it's from a museum.
Nice.
Yeah. The creation tools I've seen that too. Like some are better than like 3D rendering software out there. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
And, like how awesome it looks. I can't believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game is gonna be great. Like I probably won't make anything, but I'll definitely get it just to play stuff other people make.
Yeah, that's how I am.
You can make such a wide variety of things. Like it looks like you can make like sort of like platformers. You can make like first person experience. You can make puzzle games. I think that game is gonna be so cool.
Nice.
I'm
nice.
like scared I'm gonna like walk into like just a nightmare and be like,
Oh, yeah.
sorry, see you later.
Definitely gonna be some
Walk
scary
through another
stuff. And then I checked out what's it called? Job Simulator, which is it's so much fun. It's kind of gimmicky. Like it's definitely kind of like a tech demo-y sort of thing. They're actually releasing it though. Like it'll come out probably with VR. It's a blast. I mean, it's just so natural. I don't know. Was I saying that on the podcast?
Yeah.
How natural it was.
Yeah, like it feels so real.
But I don't know. Like you just like you're in a cubicle and it's just like, all right, do whatever you want. And there's like this kind of like guide on the side telling you like, now make coffee, and like you can't do that or you're not. And I like looked around, just started throwing everything I could in the air. Like someone would like peek over from desk, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I like throw it at that person, and then the guy is like, "All right, you should make your coffee now, so you can like kind of progress through what's going on." I'm like, "All right," so I like plug in the coffee maker, like put the coffee in the thing, like hit the button. Coffee comes out, and like I look at it for a second, just dump it on my head, and like throw the cup away, and. I was playing, or one of my coworkers was playing, and she pulled out the trash can and ate donuts in the trash, and the character threw up.
Oh my god!
And then everyone's watching her, and everyone, because I think she was the only one I saw do it, and then she goes in, gets another one, does it again. But yeah, it's so much fun. And then like Boss Bot comes by, like he'll roll up and he'll be like talking to you, and I just like open my drawer and just throw everything I can at him. That game was a blast. I recommend trying that out if you can. That was pretty much all I saw. I didn't really play anything other than that, though. But, I mean...
Nice. Yeah.
Lots of cool people.
Yeah. We played Brawlhalla, which it's towards, like, the back left. It's a little bit past, like, Fat Princess and Severn and Hob. It's basically like a four-person brawler. You know, weapons will spawn, and, you know... as you take more damage, it's very similar to Smash. You know, you'll start to fly more. It's just really cool, and there's like a counter up top, so like it gets very intense. When I was playing, it's like a 4-minute match. When I was playing, like I was in lead by like 1, and there was like 40 seconds left, and some person got like a double kill, so it took the lead by like 3 points, and like they sealed the deal, like they won. And I was like, oh man, like I was so close, and like it's really fun. Like it's I think they said it's coming out spring 2016, I think. But, you know, it's reminiscent of Smash, and it's on PlayStation. So if you haven't played that, you know, it's cool. Like in the desert, it's like, hey, like, you know, we need one more. Like, just, you know, come out, and someone's like, oh, I'll play, and like you just give you the controller and you play. It's really fun. And then saw it's called Zing: The Lost Kingdom. Zing is correct. I forget the subtitle, but they're talking like they drew influences you know, from Myst, Legend of Zelda, Portal. You know, they have all these intricate puzzles, and there are these like pads that can change the weather, and when the weather changes, you know, some puzzles are more accessible where others aren't because it's, you know, it's dark, or, you know, maybe it's raining, and it looked very pretty, and like people kept coming up and saying like, oh, it's Myst, and it's like, no, like it's not Myst. You're not, you know, clicking on something. Like there's stuff to the world like that you're actively doing, whereas Myst is like, it's almost like a puzzle. It's like it's super eerie and mysterious. And I didn't get a chance to play it. Like I saw someone playing. It looked really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. It's, you know, yeah, all the mechanics, you know, kind of combined in one. And I like when the dev was, you know, telling me about it. He had like a smile on his face. Like he was, you know, excited to talk about his game, and he's, you know, he's proud that it's similar to Zelda and all these games. So it looks pretty cool. And do you guys like meet anybody, you know, famous like Games Press, or I know you obviously you work with people in Games Press. Like, what about you guys?
Oh man, Marty was there.
Marty Sleva?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I met Marty.
Nice.
I think that was like right in front of like Hob and everything else.
Mhm.
Like I was standing over there. Yeah, met him.
Nice. So we were Jason and I were walking around. Like for the most part, I was like, man, like I want to go, like run in some games press and like, hey, how's it going? Like I'm a big fan. Like we found a lot of
We
people.
found like everybody.
Yeah,
we
like
found like all of IGN.
Yeah,
like, all of Game Trailers. Like,
yeah,
some GameSpot people.
we ran into like Brian Altano, Mexico, and everybody was so friendly. You know, Game Trailers. I saw the editor in chief. We met Brandon Jones, who was super nice, and he said like the rest of the Game Trailer staff that's here is walking around, and we ran into them. And like, hey, you want to be a mandatory update, which is one of their like wacky like news shows, it's like satire. And I was like, heck yeah, like that's awesome. And like they were just asking us about games we played, and like what we thought of the conference. I was like, that's really cool. Like it's like they're just regular people like us who love video games. It's so cool. And then we were waiting at Fat Princess. I saw Colin Moriarty walk by.
Brett just takes off.
I was like, I gotta go. I introduced myself. I was like, hey, like I'm a huge fan. Like you're a big inspiration to me. And he's very, very nice. He's very thankful. He's like, oh, thanks, man. Like I really appreciate that. And you can tell
Free Wi-Fi.
Oh, thanks. That's all I come like 6 times. And like you can tell, like he takes us stuff to heart. He really, he really cares about they're kind of funny best friends. And it's really cool. And then at the end of the night, we went to the meet and greet at Jillian's, and I finally met Greg Miller, and my life is complete. Oh my God, it was awesome. It was just so. The line was crazy. It took us like 2.5 hours to meet him, but for me, it was well worth it because he's like my biggest idol. But it's really cool. Like I'm hoping to run into like some other people there. She's like, hey, how's it going?
I'm sure you will. I know a lot of the press though isn't coming today, just because they had to work yesterday.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Kind of don't want to be there. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, there's kind of a block, I think, for a lot of people. They think like, oh, they're like, not that they think they're gonna be mean. They just like don't know how to like act in front of them. And then like, you just realize that they're like, oh, they're just like, they're nice. They're just like you. They're like, talk to you. I mean, it's cool.
Like Adam Boyes, he was super friendly. Met like Vincent Giannino, Brandon Tyrell, like big fans of your work. Met Peter Brown, like just couple minutes like of talking, and just like some small conversation. Just went on our ways, and like it was cool. Like oh cool, like I talked to someone I look up to in the games industry. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people. I didn't really have a chance to like go up and like meet anyone. I talked to Greg and Colin a little bit. I saw Jeff Keighley. I didn't say anything to him. I was waiting in line, and I was like, I'm not getting out of line for this. Like, but then one person I did see who I really wanted to meet, but I didn't get the chance, was Tim Schafer. And like normally I wouldn't like go out of my way to try to meet him. Like he seems like the coolest guy and everything, but it's just like, but after Psychonauts 2, it's like, oh my God, I just want to like hug him and like this is life. I'm much more happy to live in a world with Psychonauts 2 than without. I'm so happy.
Anything else you guys just want to touch up on before we
Julius met CeeLo Green. That's kind
of
that's
right.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention it here, but met CeeLo Green.
You're going to talk about that.
Well, just real quick, like this hotel I'm staying in, it's like, I don't know, it's extra posh and trendy or whatever, and it's like, it has a nightclub in it, and so like, just like going down there to get a drink, and like it's super packed in there, and music playing and everything like that, and I'm like, looking around, and I'm like, man, I'm, just like, man, this is kind of cool spot, everybody's like hanging out, and I see like this other, like the only other black dude in there, and he's like got a dog, and I'm like, I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that, like, there's this guy in the club with a dog, and I'm like, am I drunk? I'm talking to my friend, like, man, I'm drunk, but it's like, like, there's a dude with a dog in there in the club. And I look, and when I really, like, look at him, like, that's CeeLo. And I mean, and I don't even know, just, like, I'm not, like Jake said, like, I just, like, really, like, I won't say I have a block as far as, like, approaching people that, like, I recognize from TV or stuff like that. I just, like, never really don't have an interest in like getting to know somebody just because I see him, etc. On TV or something. But just for I don't know, maybe it's the alcohol, but I just was like CeeLo, and he just like walks over and he just like shakes my hand and like starts talking to me, still holding the dog like he never like he had the dog like cuffed like a baby. He never let the dog go. Like he like comes over to the bar where I am is him, and I don't know if that was like his girlfriend or whatever, or wife or whatever, I don't know, and like a security dude, and like like we get a couple drinks, and like I'm sitting there with CeeLo and he's got the dog, and then like we leave, the the club, and like he's staying in the hotel, like he wasn't just like hanging out in the club there, like he's staying in the hotel, and we get on the elevator, and like I push 7, and then like the girl pushes 6, and like we're just like in the elevator like chilling. I'm just like leaning up against one side of the elevator, and CeeLo's leaning up on the other side of the elevator, and he's like stroking the dog like Dr. Evil, like and like and then and then like he gets to the 6th floor, and he's just like all right, have a good night. And he just like puts the dog down on the floor, and like they just walk out of the elevator. Like,
There you go.
Yeah, only CeeLo Green, I guess.
Oh man, that's awesome. So that is going to wrap up episode 40, the PSX special of the Game Bolt podcast, and you can, of course, go to thegamebolt.com where our Rainbow Six Siege review just recently went up.
The game's so good.
Yeah?
I love that game.
Oh man, I want to try it out. My brother has it. I haven't played it yet though. We're writing content every day. Bunch of features coming up. I might write my, just some impressions on some of these games. Just my experience of PSX in general is a very positive experience. I'm very glad it came here. And this this podcast, of course, posts to iTunes every Tuesday and YouTube every Wednesday. And you can follow us on Twitter at @the_GameBolts, and you can also follow all 4 of us on Twitter. Jason, where can we find you?
At J_Smash1.
Julius?
Respected Genius. Just change the I to a lowercase L.
Jake?
At Jacob Deck.
And you can follow me at Brett Woodmansee, WOODMA.